John Hayes is a director who has a very sharp eye for a good script and a good play, and this is one that has been a mission of his for quite a while to stage, and he's a very, very clear vision in terms of what he wants.
You can really see that John has just got such a clear vision of what he wants to see on stage, definitely.
As well as that, John has a good ability in terms of nudging us along in terms of bringing to fruition what he wants, and at the same time giving us as actors license to develop into the role organically.
Hi, my name is John Hayes. I'm the director of Clocked and I'm playing the role of Moore. Wild Ensemble was set up as an LGBT theatre group. So basically I suppose my mission statement, whatever you want to call it, was to provide the gay community with a theatre group. It was to set up an LGBT theatre group that would do universal stories, not just exclusively gay themed stories, just to show people that here's a theatre group that has its origins in the LGBT community that can go up there with any other theatre company and direct kind of innovative, edgy, kind of punky theatre. I think that's kind of the ethic that I was going for when I went into theatre. It might sound kind of pretentious, but kind of punk theatre. So it had a kind of a punk, edgy ethic to it, like. So yeah, just to be able to say that I set up the company as an LGBT company, very much has its origins in the community, still does, but is doing universal stories and can go with any other theatre company now. So yeah, and I don't think I ever expected that it would kind of take off the way it's taken off. Like we did Clockwork Orange, then we did an award-winning one act after that, then called Fade to Black by a writer named Mark Evans. After that, then I did A Rustle of Wings by Linda Eisenstein, which was another one act, which was very well received. And now we have Clocked, which is the fourth production. And then straight after Clocked, we'll be on to a horror anthology production, which is a co-production with another company, Take 5, and that will be in September. And I'm hoping to have my sixth one then in January of next year, hopefully. Clocked is a very kind of I suppose kind of unconventional in a way. It's very edgy and it's very complex, very dark. It's a hard one to describe without giving away too much about the plot because it's very, very mysterious. It's very kind of enigmatic. If I don't like making comparisons to other writers or other visions or anything like that, but if I was to compare it to anything, I think I would be inclined to say it's along the lines of Pinter. Not in terms of the style, but just the way Pinter has his own very specific voice and vibe and rhythm to the dialogue, and it's kind of bizarre way, unconventional way the plot turns out. So if I was to make a comparison, it would be to that. But the writer Neil Flynn is probably the best. It's certainly one of the best writers that I've ever read. I've read a number of his plays, and they all have a very specific voice and vision to them, which I haven't seen in anything else. Clocked has been a very successful play for him, and that it ran over in London back in 2008 in the Warehouse Theatre, directed by a guy named Ted Craig. And it was very well received, very successful. And when I had decided to do a new production, I contacted Neil and I asked him if he would be able to rustle something up for me. Maybe I was being cheeky or whatever, but I asked him if he'd be willing to rustle something up for me, and he gave me Clocked, which I wasn't expecting, with a different ending to the original production. So yeah, it's a fascinating play, and it's a three-hander, and it takes place over 3 nights, and it's one location, and for something that seems so kind of claustrophobic, there's so much goes on in it, and it's all within the characters. I mean, it's as much about what they don't say as what they do say, and it credits the audience with the intelligence of it doesn't spell things out right for the audience. I think people will have different takes on what the play is about and what goes on in the play, and certainly, like us going through the rehearsal process, we find out something new about the play every time we rehearse it. Like even up until maybe last week, you know. But yeah, it's fascinating. It's a very rich play, and it's fantastic characters as well. So yeah, I could have chosen any well-known play to do, but I just connected with this one. Well, there's an actor named Eugene McCarthy is playing the role of Quinn, who is the oldest of the three protagonists. Eugene has a great sense of decency about him. Quinn seems to be kind of your man next door. Do you know what I mean? Kind of a thing, like this normal guy that you meet on the street, very humble, very just kind of goes about his business, very ordinary. And Eugene has a tremendous sense of decency. And kind of, I suppose, maybe I'm not thinking the right word, normality, which lends itself very well to Quinn. And I think also when different elements of the character come into play later on in the story, kind of like the darker elements, it's fascinating to see Eugene then kind of subvert those qualities that he has in the service of the character. So yeah, he's an award-winning actor as well. He won an award recently for a performance in a one-act play. And yeah, he's very dedicated. He's very easy to work with. He's got a tremendous. From day one, he's had a tremendous sense of what the script is about, which isn't an easy thing because it's an incredibly complex script. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, just fine actor, very easy to work with, very dedicated, and he's great at close reading. So his close reading skills regarding scripts is second to none. Playing Ray then, who is possibly the most complex and possibly the trickiest of the three protagonists, is an actor named Dillon. And how I came across Ethan was he auditioned for a production that I was planning last year. And he came in and he gave an excellent audition for that. And when I was casting the role of Ray, I offered him the role outright based on that audition because I just knew from what I saw at that time that he had the qualities that would work for Ray. Yeah, again, I suppose for such a young actor, he's got a tremendous sense of the close reading thing again, which is the sense of the script and being able to interpret it and getting what's going on. And like I said, it's not an easy thing to be able to interpret a script like Clocked because it is so complex. Great sense of character. I mean, the character of Ray, he's bringing so much to it, and he understands it. Like Ray is the type of character that can turn in a second. You think you have a handle on him in 1 second, and he turns into something else comes to the fore. And Ethan's been on the ball there from day one with that. So he's got a very specific vibe to him as well, which always fascinates me about an actor. And very easygoing, very dedicated. It's about the work, you know. And yeah, as with Eugene, great to work with.